You also, people might have seen me, the police, I knew who was who, and I went into the square. And Mrs. said, and our relative, who's our brother, also the king, a taller one. I remembered him, and I spoke to him, and we talked with each other. People saw, and another one you saw, who was the king, and they gave a death threat to about me. Because his name was in the travel document. We told you his personal phone number. But they said, because my beloved husband told me to put his phone number in the travel document. And so they said, and I understand that they threatened him. The Bench said not people were being caught once they tried to take over Cyprus. They were being arrested. They were involved in abduction, trying to take our identities. So just two, and so they saw me. People saw me, but they didn't know who was who. But the government would know who was who. So the people who knew us, so when they had to leave, we were in the house and we had to go with them. But they said because it was only for safety. That's all it was for. And so and because the British said not the German people were trying to take over Greece and they lost. That's it. Bush and everybody with them, making up lies like they always make up, and they did really. They even ate people. Really quite wrong. They were really crooked and wicked, and so and all those Genoese that showed up, and something happened to the Genoese, harassed us and everything, and Bush showed up and dressed in a white suit with a frosted tips wig and high heels and called himself Jenna. Everybody knew that's what he was trying to be anyway. He was a known homosexual and openly about it and bragged about how he was, and he was trying to be queen himself of our things. A dirty man with all those other dirty men, and Pastor Charles and Fake Mo, and just wicked. And Jenna was his wife, the one you saw, and that was really his wife because they got busted. She got busted for prostitution and drugs. We have that film that we took to The Hague, and everybody saw them on the film. Cursed on people. We told you about it. And Jenna was on there with Bush, and she was grown. So and not his daughter, and when she got busted for prostitution, and he threatened mom and told mom, we were little kids, me and my beloved husband, and the kid said, they got busted for prostitution over at the hotel, and Bush threatened mom, though the Imasika was watch Charles Putin, and tried to make her not tell. She said she'd tell. People asked her, she was going to tell. She would tell anyway. And then we had a party at Abydos, King Carl Gustaf. He announced us as one in the line of succession. He only had two birth daughters, and he adopted me and his daughter. We were his blood niece, and that's when he told people from the Middle East, and we're going to be we were in line to be king and queen of Sweden. He didn't have any birth sons. So and it was Apostle Charles and fake ones, people stalking, trying to be in his stuff and take his things. And they hurt him. I was doing conduction, obviously, Apostle Charles and Emma, not a real person, but with Apostle Charles and fake ones people, they killed King Carl Gustaf. I saw as a Swiss pressy, he was trying to help rescue me. I told him I would go with him to the Swiss pressy, he was trying to help rescue me, and a man came and shot him. And it's really quite wrong. And they're going to announce that he had died some time ago, and then they didn't. And so they just said because they thought maybe we wouldn't be safe. That's why they didn't say that. But everybody knows he's gone because we're able to tell that the Apostle Charles and the Nazi Germany government killed King Carl Gustaf of Sweden. We have a family picture with all together. They said when little kids, and our family album, we had a picture like that. I used to show you these things, but on the internet, so we just did too. But we just tell you that they did dirty things to them, trying to take their things, but they said, and they didn't get. They're Jewish, and so we know that those who hurt us are cursed, and they were cursed for trying to hurt them and trying to steal their things. Yes, they are Greek Jews. And so there is such a thing as that. And so we said that's what they were. And we inherited the house because it's in line succession. And that's how we became in line succession. When he made us king and queen regent of Greece, he said that it was stronger than the king and queen. And because of something happened that we could be and help our people there and help the people there and help the people that we inherited. We're part Greek. So we just we can't have the house, the throne, if we're not part Greek. So my name is Olympia Miriam, and we're the children, the grandchildren, and we had double uncles, the brothers with the uncles and dads when they would adopt and make me their daughter, and so they're blood uncles, and so he and grandfather being a blood uncle. So we just want to explain these things to you too. Okay, so we talk to you as we can. Try this careful, safe, and on alert. Oh, and when I got frostbite. They saw me with him. Did you drink any juice when I was running out of the hospital? I had to wear these. I counted how many times I could actually wear shoes after the frostbite. In hospital for for 5 days and had IV in my arm, and then the Baptist Society of Nazi Germany people stopped in the room, and I couldn't stay any longer because they were afraid somebody would put something in an IV. The same room that me and my beloved husband actually had when the Baptist Society of Nazi Germany people tried to freeze us in the cold in Turkey, and Dad had to take us from Turkey to Greece in an ambulance and then get us. And we had frostbite. It was really bad. My husband's nose turned black, and I had black spots on my feet. I wore these boots. You saw me. If I saw me, I wore down boots. Looked like house slippers. They were really warm, and I had to sleep in a place where people could see me most of the time. And so by the King George Hotel in an area where there were guards, so people could see me. And they said, so we just went to Bishop 2. And sometimes they'd go inside, but most of the time I would be outside. And people knew who I was. They just Bishop 2. And they know we're the royal family of Greece, and so they were trying to protect them and trying to protect us. And they tell everybody, let everybody know what happened from a long time ago, to let people know. They want you to know that we're the king and queen of Greece, not region anymore, but king and queen, and of Denmark. As Denmark always wants to tell you too. So this said so. But he when I got out of the hospital, he come to me. He said he came and took it with him. He said, "Did you drink any juice?" And I was drinking orange soda. I said, "I had juice." I said, "Then this soda's fine. Are you sure?" He was like really upset because I had got frostbite. And Victor said, and he was upset, and so we just went to and how I had to move around. I had to sleep in front of a guard desk in the hospital, not because there was no room, but because they thought that somebody would try to kill me. And the Baptist Society of Nazi Germany, Aliyah people actually tried to come, and the Baptist Society woman who got a fire from the hospital and from the airport, they cleaned the airport. When I left it, I was really small because I don't eat bread. And at the time I didn't eat any bread, and I don't eat meat, and now I eat some bread, but when I have to occasionally. But I don't like bread. I like to eat matzah, and it's better. And so I was really quite small. And the ambulance driver picked me up, put me in a chair with his one arm. He said, "Only a Rothschild's like that," because of how I left the airport in grand style. And the woman that tried to keep me from getting help, she was bad. She said, the person that tried to infiltrate the airport and let in dirty things, she was fired. They caught her too. And the woman at the hospital, she tried to cut off my